Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you all are safe and doing well at your home. So this video is for the students of class 9th, subject science, chapter number 9, that is force and laws of motion. And this is your lecture number 3. In this lecture, we would be covering Newton's third law of motion. So let's start. Students, in the previous lectures, we discussed about two laws of motion given by Newton. So, what is Newton's third law of motion? It states that for every action, there is always equal and opposite reaction. Okay. For every action, there is always equal and opposite reaction. Now, what does it mean? It means that whenever one object, it exerts a force on another object, then what will happen? Simultaneously, the second object, it will also exert force on the first object. Okay, so first case is action and in the second case that is reaction. And these two forces, they are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Okay, equal in magnitude means, suppose if the first force is 10 Newton, so second force will also be 10 Newton, but the direction will be opposite. Okay, and these forces, they act on different objects, not on the same object. Okay, let us consider an example so that it becomes more clear. See, there are two objects, object A and object B. Okay, now this object B, it is exerting force on object B. Simultaneously, this object B, it also exerts force on this object A. Okay, so these forces, they are equal in magnitude, but the direction is opposite. You can see the directions are opposite. And these forces, they are acting on different objects. Yes, they are acting on different objects. They are not acting on the same object. Clear? So what will be the force in this case? Suppose I consider F1, the force which is exerted by object A on object B, that is F1, and F2 be the force which is exerted by the object B on object A. So F1 is equal to F2. The magnitudes are equal. So we represent by this bar. Okay, it means magnitude. The magnitudes are equal sign, and the direction are opposite. So that's why I have put minus. Okay, so F1 is equal to minus F2. For every action, there is always equal and opposite reaction. This is Newton's third law. This object is exerting force on this object. Simultaneously, this object will also exert force on this object. Clear, students? Let us take daily examples where the Newton's third law of motion is applicable. First example is walking on a road. what happens whenever you start walking on a road? Suppose you are walking in this direction. This is the road. Okay, so when you start walking on a road, you push the road backward. Okay, you are walking in this direction, you are pushing the road backward. At the same time, the road, it will exert an equal and opposite force on your feet, which make you to move forward. Okay, I repeat again. When you start walking on a road, your feet is pushing the road backward. Okay, and at the same time, the road, it is exerting an equal and opposite reaction force on your feet, which is helping you or making you to move forward. So this is the application of Newton's third law of motion. So you can write in your own words. When you start walking on a road, you push the road below backwards. The road exerts an equal and opposite reaction force on your feet to make you move forward. Clear? Next example is recoiling of gun. You might have seen that whenever a bullet is fired from a gun, then what happens? A shoulder of the gunman, it suddenly moves backward. Okay? The man, it receives a sudden jerk. We say that the gun is moving backward or the shoulder is moving backward. Why? What is the reason behind? This is just Newton's third law. How? This is a bullet and this is the gun. Okay, now what happens? This bullet is being fired from the gun. Okay, so the gun, it exerts a force on the bullet in forward direction. So this is the action force. Okay, the gun is exerting a force on the bullet. That's why the bullet moves in forward direction. So this is what? This is the action force. Now, what happens? The bullet, it also exerts an equal force on the gun in backward direction. This is the reaction force. Okay, in the first case, the gun was exerting force on the bullet. In the second case, the bullet is back, again exerting an equal and opposite force on the gun. So this is the reaction force. So that's why this is called as recoiling of the gun. Means the backward movement of the gun. That is recoiling. Clear? So you can write down, when a bullet is fired from a gun, the gun exerts a force on the bullet in forward direction. This is action force. The bullet also exerts an equal amount of the force on the gun in backward direction. This is the reaction force. So, the backward movement of the gun, it is called as recoiling of the gun. Means the gun, it moves a little distance backward by giving a sudden jerk at the shoulder of the gunman. Clear, students? Let us take third example, hitting a wall. If you hit a wall, what happens? If you hit a wall with your hand or legs, you get hurt. Why? Because you hit a wall with a force. You are applying the force on this wall. So simultaneously this wall, it will also exert an equal amount of the force on your palm or on your hand. So that's why your hand get hurt. This is action reaction force. Okay. Next example is rowing a boat. This is a boat. Okay. And this is the water. Here is a man which is paddling by pushing the water. So what is happening in this case? This person, it wants to move forward. It wants to move in this direction. So he paddles the water in backward direction. Okay. While rowing a boat, when you want to make forward, you paddle by pushing the water in backward direction. So, action reaction force. Okay. This paddling of the water in backward direction, it makes you move forward. So, this is what? This is the application of Newton's third law. To every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. Okay. Whatever the amount of force you are applying in paddling this water in backward direction, the same amount of force it will be exerted by the water on this boat, which will help you to move forward. So this happens in rowing a boat. Okay. Another example of swimming. You might have observed that a swimmer, it pushes the water backward. Why? A swimmer pushes the water backward by his hands, and in return the water, it will push the swimmer in forward direction, thus enabling him to go forward during swimming. Okay? The swimmer is applying some force on the water in backward direction. Simultaneously, the water will apply an equal amount of force to the swimmer, which helps in moving in forward direction. So, action reaction force. Another example you can take of a bird. What happens while flying? While flying, the birds, they push the air downwards with the help of wings. Why? Because in return, the air, it pushes the bird in upward direction. That's why the birds are able to fly. Okay? Next, a very good example of rocket propulsion. What happens in it? This is a rocket. Okay, now what happens? The gases, they are creating an action force. Okay, more gases means more force is exerted in downward direction. Action force. Okay, so simultaneously an equal amount of force will be exerted in upward direction, that is reaction force. So the rocket, it moves in upward direction. So this is a very good example based on Newton's third law. So that's it for today's lecture. What is your homework, students? You will solve question number 1 given on page number 126, and along with the in-text question, you will also solve exercise question number 12 of chapter number 9, Force and Laws of Motions, NCERT textbook. Okay, students? Now, I will be discussing the homework solutions of lecture number 2. Question number 5th was, a truck starts from rest. Rest means initial velocity 0, and rolls down a hill with a constant acceleration. It travels a distance of 400 meter. So S is 400 meter. In 20 seconds. Time is 20 seconds. Find its acceleration. You need to calculate acceleration. Find the force acting on it if its mass is 7 ton. You have to find the force and the mass is given 7 ton. Now first of all convert this ton into kg. 1 ton, it is equal to 1000 kg. So 7 ton will be 7000 kg. Okay. Now you need to calculate acceleration and force. You are given S, U, T. So you can apply the formula S is equal to UT plus half AT square. From there you can get the value of acceleration. Just substitute the values. S is given 400. Initial velocity is 0. So the whole term will become 0 plus half A. Time is given 20 square. So calculate the value of acceleration from here. You will get acceleration is equal to 2 meter per second square. So now you have calculated acceleration. Now you have to calculate force. What is the formula for calculating force? Force is ma. Now mass is, you have calculated 7000 and acceleration also 2. So 7000 into 2, that will be 14,000 Newton, because N is a unit of force. So the answer is 14,000 Newton. Clear? Now coming to question number 6. A stone of 1 kg. So mass is given 1 kg. It is thrown with a velocity of 20 meter per second. So it is thrown means initial velocity is 20 meter per second across the frozen surface of a lake and comes to rest, means final velocity is 0 after traveling a distance of 50 meter. So the time is given, the distance is given 50 meter. S is equal to 50. Now what is the force of friction between the stone and ice? So you have to calculate F, force of friction. First of all, what is the formula to calculate F? It is MA. Now you know M, but you don't know A. So you need to calculate A. So from these data, calculate the value of A first. So apply the formula. V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. Now substitute the value of V, U, 2 and S. So you will get the value of A, that is minus 4 meter per second square. Okay, now you know the acceleration and you know the mass also. So calculate the force of friction. What is force? Force is MA. So mass is 1 kg given in the question. Acceleration you have calculated right now, that is minus 4. So put it minus 4. So 1 into minus 4, that will be minus 4 Newton. Now why this negative sign? The negative sign indicates that the direction of force is opposite to the direction of velocity. Okay? Means we can say the force of friction. So clear? This is question number 6th solution. Coming to question number 7th. A 8000 kg engine pulls a train of 5 wagons. Okay, so the mass of engine is given. Let it be M1, that is 8000 kg. This engine pulls a train of 5 wagons, each of 1000 kg. So mass of each wagon, let it be M2, that is 2000 kg along a horizontal track. If the engine exerts a force of 40,000 Newton. Okay, number of wagons is given, that is 5, and the force that is exerted, that is 40,000 Newton, and the track offers a frictional force of 5,000 Newton. Okay, the frictional force is F2, that is 5,000 Newton. Now, first part is calculate the net accelerating force. You have to calculate the net force. So, what will be the net force? It will be F1 minus F2. Means 40,000 Newton minus 5,000 Newton, that will be 35,000 Newton. Clear? B part is calculate the acceleration of the train. Okay, what is acceleration? Acceleration is F upon m. Okay, force is ma. So acceleration will be F upon m. Now which F we will take? That will be net force. So net force divided by total mass of the train. Because we need to calculate the acceleration of the train. So we have to consider the total mass of the train. So the net force we have calculated in the first case. That is 35,000 Newton. So what is the total mass of the train? The total mass of the train will be mass of 5 wagons. Okay, the mass of one wagon is 2,000. So what will be the mass of 5 wagon? 2,000 into 5. You will not consider the mass of engine. You will just consider the mass of all 5 wagons. That is the mass of train, not of engine. So just simplify it. You will get the value 3.5 meter per second square. Now C part is calculate the force of wagon 1 on wagon 2. You have to calculate this force. Okay, this is a train. Suppose this is the engine. Okay, these are the 5 wagons. Now you have to calculate the force of wagon 1 on wagon 2. Okay, you have to calculate this force which is exerted by wagon 1 on wagon 2. Means, what is the formula for force? Force is ma. Okay, now which m we will take? We will take these 4 wagon mass. So 2,000 into 4. Okay, because we have to calculate the force of wagon 1 on wagon 2. So this wagon 2 is bonded to 3, to 4, to 5. So that's why we will consider these 4 only. We will not consider 1. So 2000 into 4 into acceleration you have calculated 3.5. So just simplify. The answer is 28,000 Newton. Coming to question number 8. An automobile vehicle has a mass of 1500 kg. What must be the force between the vehicle and the road if the vehicle is to be stopped with a negative acceleration of 1.7 meter per second square? So the acceleration is also given minus 1.7 meter per second square. You have to calculate the force. Now what is the formula for force? Force is ma. So just substitute the values. 1500 into minus 1.7, that will be minus 255 Newton. Simple. Okay. Coming to question number 9. What is the momentum of an object of mass m moving with the velocity v? So what is the formula for calculating momentum? Momentum is P is equal to mv. So the answer is D part, mv, where m is mass, v is velocity. Coming to question number 10. Using a horizontal force of 200 Newton, we intend to move a wooden cabinet across a floor at a constant velocity. Now what is the friction force that will be exerted on the cabinet? The horizontal force is given 200 Newton and you have been asked the frictional force that will be exerted on the cabinet. Okay, the horizontal force This is a cabinet which is placed on a floor. Okay, this horizontal force is applied, that is 200 Newton. Now, since this wooden cabinet, it is moving across the floor with constant velocity. Okay, therefore the net force acting on it will be 0. It means the frictional force on the cabinet, that will be equal to this horizontal force, that will be 200 Newton. So the answer is same, 200 Newton. But the direction will be opposite to that of applied horizontal force. Okay. Coming to next question, question number 13. A hockey ball of mass 200 gram traveling at 10 meter per second is struck by a hockey stick so as to return it along its original path with a velocity at 5 meter per second. You have to calculate the change in momentum. Okay, now what is the formula to calculate the change in momentum? It is final momentum minus initial momentum. Now what is final momentum? mv. And what is initial momentum? mu. Where v is final velocity, u is initial velocity. So take m as common, v minus u. Now substitute the values. Mass is given, that is 200 grams. So convert this into kg. That will be 200 divided by 1000. 0.2 kg. So mass is 0.2. Now final velocity. Final velocity is minus 5. Why? Because it is returning back. Okay, the direction is opposite. That's why we have taken minus. So minus 5, then minus, and initial velocity is given to you, that is 10. So just solve this. You will get your answer, that is minus 3 kg meter per second. Okay, so this is question number 13. Question number 14. A bullet of mass 10 gram. 10 gram, convert this into kg. 10 divided by 1000, that will be 0.01 kg. It is traveling horizontally with a velocity 150 meter per second. Initial velocity is given 150 meter per second. Strikes a stationary wooden block and comes to rest. Final velocity 0. In 0.03 second, time is given. Now calculate the distance of penetration of the bullet into the block. So you have to calculate distance, means S. Also calculate the magnitude of the force exerted by the wooden block on the bullet. So you have to calculate the force also. What is the formula for force? Force is ma. Mass is given in the question. Okay, that is 0.01 kg. Now acceleration is not given. So first of all, calculate the value of acceleration. The formula for calculating acceleration is v minus u upon t. So v is given 0 minus u is given 150 and t is given 0.03. So substitute the values. You will get your answer minus 5000 meter per second square. Now acceleration you have calculated. So I calculate force also. Force is ma. Now mass you know 0.01 and acceleration you have calculated right now minus 5000. So just simplify it. So you will get your answer minus 50 Newton. The force you have calculated. Now only one thing is left, distance. So for calculating distance, apply this formula. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. Now v you know 0. U you also know 150. 2 acceleration you know minus 5000. Calculate the value of s. The s will be 2.25 meter. Clear? So this is question number 14th. Now coming to last question, question number 16th. An object of mass 100 kg is accelerated uniformly from a velocity of 5 meter per second. Initial is given. To 8 meter per second, final is given. In 6 seconds, time is given. Calculate the initial and final momentum. You have to calculate initial momentum. You have to calculate final momentum. And also calculate the magnitude of the force. Okay, these three things you have to calculate. And you are given M, U, V and T. So what is initial momentum? Initial momentum is M, U. Okay, now M is given 100 and U is 5. So that will be 500 kg meter per second. Okay, now for final momentum, it will be mv, that will be 100 into 8, that will be 800 kg meter per second. Now you have to calculate the force exerted on the object. What is force? Force is ma. And what is a? A is v minus u upon t. So you know all these values, just substitute. M is 100, V is 8, U is 5 and time is 6. So you will get your answer 50 Newton. Okay. So this is question number 16. So that's it. Thank you.